Guys, breaking news on a Friday here on the Soscast, here on Tainment. If you have not heard, then we're breaking news to you right now. Elon Musk officially terminates his deal to buy Twitter. This is an impromptu Soscast on a Friday. I'm running out the door. Patrick Bet David pulls me aside and says, dude, you guys got to talk about this. Natalia jumps in. Our writer here, our lovely writer, Elena Patestas. Did I say that right?
Elena.
Elena, how am I? She wrote an amazing article on valuetainment.com. If you want to read the full article, watch and read Elena's article on valuetainment.com. She sums it all up. But we're going to uncover exactly what's happening with Elon Musk and Twitter and all the Twitter beef that's happening. But basically, it's over. Elon Musk has officially terminated his deal to buy Twitter. A couple little stats for you. We can go down a little bit. So if you recall, and by the way, would you mind weighing in on certain facts? And you can even fact check me. I'm gonna kind of give some facts, some opinions, but if I say anything incorrect or if I omit anything, I want you to be like, "No, dude, this is the real deal," okay? And I want you, Natalia, to weigh in.
You got it.
Okay, can we do that?
Yes.
By the way, we're live. We've got viewers. People are here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for being here. This is big news. This is a big deal. This is on Valuetainment money. You know, we talk is money. I talk is money. We talk relationships. We talk dating. Is there a bigger name out there in the world right now than Elon Musk when it comes to money and even dating? By the way, he just had, I think, 2 more kids
last year.
Last year,
but we found him this year.
They just broke the news that it was with an executive at SpaceX.
Yep.
So he now has how many kids? 9 kids
9.
That we know of.
That we know of. He's got definitely got some kids up there in space. You know, they're saying that this is the first time since he's pulled out of his deal from Twitter. This is the first time that Elon Musk has officially pulled out. But here we go. But let's get into some of these details so our friends out there in internet land know exactly what's going on. So we cut to the chase. We're not going to do a big long Soscast episode. We're going to cover the story so you guys know exactly what is going on between Elon Musk and Twitter. But it's officially over. Broken up. It's not happening. They were going to get married. Deal's over. $44 billion deal down the drain. All right. So less than 3 months. I think, what was the date that he tried to buy Twitter? Was it April 25th?
Yes.
He made a deal or an offer to buy Twitter April 25th. So that was April, May, June. So this is less than 3 months ago.
Yep.
To buy Twitter at $54 a share in an all cash deal, right?
Yes.
For $44 billion. Okay. So Twitter announced the deal to sell Elon Musk on April 25th, saying he would take the company private by paying $54.20 a share in cash after a whirlwind courtship between the billionaire and the social media platform. By the way, the stock today, Twitter stock, $36. So 3 months ago, Twitter, $54 a share. Now, $36 a share. So Twitter has lost a lot of money since he's tried to acquire Twitter. By the way, speaking of losing money, Elon Musk is still the richest man in the world. Number one in the rankings. As of the end of last year, end of 2021, Elon was worth $340 billion. You know what he's worth today? $238 billion. So in the last 7 months, right?
Billion.
We all know that, you know, tech stocks have taken a hit. The stock market's taken a hit. Crypto's taken a hit. Tesla's taken a hit. Everything's taken a hit. He is now worth $238 billion. Elon Musk has lost $100 billion in the last 7 months. Were you aware of that?
No.
All right. That's our writer right there. She writes the facts. She didn't know it. She's not going to write it. But he's lost $100 billion. All right. Here's some more details of what happened exactly today. Of course, this happens on a Friday. If you're familiar with anything with politics, the news always drops at the end of the day on a Friday, and they let the weekend kind of smooth it over. Trump was notorious for this. Yes. Elon Musk and his legal team also doing this, but Twitter's firing back. But here's the details. So in a letter, this is Elon Musk's legal team. They wrote to Twitter. He sent a letter to, scroll back up. He sent a letter to Twitter's chief legal officer announcing the termination. Here are some of the details that have been provided from Elon Musk. He says, Mr. Musk and his financial advisors at Morgan Stanley have been requesting critical information from Twitter as far back as May 9th, 2022. So 2 months ago. And repeatedly since then, on the relationship between Twitter's disclosed MDAU figures and that prevalence of false or spam accounts on the platform. Let me just break that down in plain English. They're using legalese here, MDAU. That stands for monetizable daily active users. They want to know how many people are actually on your platform, and more importantly, how many of those people are actual bots, right? Is that sort of the crux of what's going on here? Is that Elon saying, listen, before I take this over, before I buy Twitter and take it private, how many freaking bots are there out there, right?
Yes.
And that is the crux of exactly what's going on, right, Elena?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. So here's some of the requests that Elon Musk has made to Twitter Twitter. You see, like
he's quitter.
That's on my
he's
mind.
Quitting Twitter.
Nobody likes a quitter. But he's been very clear of what his demands are. Elena, would you help us out with some of those demands?
Sure. So he said if there were ever any doubt as to the nature of these information requests, the May 25th letter made clear that Mr. Musk's goal was to understand how many of Twitter's claimed MDAUs were in fact fake or spam accounts.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So that's essentially the crux of what's going on. These MDAUs, these monetizable daily active users, real people who are online on Twitter, how many are in fact fake or spam accounts? What was the you saw another article about how many fake accounts or spam accounts Twitter blocks every day?
1 million.
Jorge, show this on screen if you can. Twitter insists it has its bots handled. It claims it blocks 1 million spammers every day. Every day. This is the latest answer to Elon Musk's allegations. Thank you. We'll click off that. By the way, is this a crazy number? What do you think, Natalia?
That's insane. And if there's more, that's even more insane.
Right.
Kind of disgusting, actually.
Disgusted?
Yeah. Because
Really,
it's
why?
like you come on a platform, for, interaction with people. People come for internet to
a public square, they say.
That's like they're socializing. So to come on a platform to socialize and then you have fake accounts responding, it takes away from the value of what the platform really should bring. People go there for like an escape, and now it's being invaded by all these spammers and fake accounts. So it's not really an escape. It's more of a disaster. It's kind of annoying to see the spammers on there, honestly.
I agree. All right, so here, let's continue with this story. So basically, here's what happens then. So Musk is following up with the Twitter executives. Guys, what's going on with the bots? Can you provide some information? What's going on? So apparently, allegedly, they were providing information, but Musk and his legal team were basically saying that it was incomplete, right, Elena? Mm-hmm. They're saying, no, this is enough. You're failing to provide me with the information that I need. Can you enlighten us on what happened then?
Right. And I just want to make like one point.
Mm-hmm.
They're blocking 1 million a day, Twitter, but how many are being created? There could be 5 million, 20 million bots being created per day. And they're saying, oh, we block 1 million. But if all these other millions of bots are being created, that's nothing,
Very good point. So there might be 5 million spam accounts being created, and they're basically, doing the PR spin propaganda saying, hey, we're blocking 1 million a day.
But even when you block it, they say like on Instagram, if you block a bot, it says like block this account and others created. So like there is ways to kind of like, I guess, monetize that. But again, who's to say they don't go to another computer in another space to go do that?
Guys, just a little heads up. Because since I've been on Valuetainment for the past few years, my social media presence has definitely been elevated. We've seen it with Pat's presence. A lot of fake accounts are being made. And then it's pretending to be me or pretending to be Pat or pretending to be Valuetainment. Here's a word to the wise. Don't send anybody money. Okay?
Save that money.
Unless you actually speak with them on the phone, you vetted them, you verified that they are not a fake account or a spam account or clout jacking people. So just be smart. I think most people understand that, but there's always going to be someone that neglects to just understand the obvious. Yeah. But word to the wise. Okay. So here we go. So for example, we're talking about the failure to provide incomplete information or complete information, which Elon Musk called insufficient. So Twitter provided quote unquote insufficient data to Elon Musk. Okay. So, and then here's Twitter's response. He said, basically, Twitter, by its own admission, provided only incomplete data that was not sufficient to perform such an independent assessment. This is according to a June 29th letter quote unquote, endeavored to be even more specific and reduce the burden of the original request by identifying a specific subset of high priority information responsive to Mr. Musk's prior request for Twitter to immediately make available. So how do you process that, Elena?
I think that the data is BS, and Musk is saying no, like, this is ridiculous. Like, give me the data or I'm not making a deal.
Bottom line.
That's it. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think it's complicated. I think that they're making this a big media, fiasco, and it's very simple.
Well, what I found here, Twitter, by its own admission, provided incomplete data. I mean, that's essentially what Elon Musk is essentially saying. If you go down, Natalia, that, all right, so they provided, quote unquote, insufficient data, and then they took forever to do it. It took months and months and months on this. But the question is, why did Twitter take so long to provide this data? So here's a quote from the lawsuit. Mr. Musk sought the same information in letters dated June 26th and June 17th and June 29th, basically saying, yo, what's up with the data, guys? Hitting them up. Boom, boom, 6th, 17th, 29th, week after week after week, if you would. And then in each of these letters, Mr. Musk referenced his information rights under Section 6.4 of the merger agreement. We won't get into all those details, but it goes on to say, Twitter has thus been on notice of the information sought by Mr. Musk and the contractual basis for these requests for 2 months. Essentially saying for the past month, Mr. Musk has been clear that he views Twitter's non-responsiveness, incomplete data as a material breach of the merger agreement, giving him the right to terminate the merger agreement if it occurred.
As he should.
So he's basically saying, guys, listen, I'm just going to boil this down. Guys, I want to buy Twitter. I'm going to give you a fair price at $54 billion, right? Was it $44 billion at 54 share? $44 billion at 54 share. A fair price. We're going to take it private. There's just one catch. I need all the information. I need all the due diligence. I need everything that's accurate. Would you please provide that? And then Twitter, almost admittedly, didn't give them the full information and was basically non-responsive when he kept inquiring, yo, what's up with the bots? What's up with the bots? What's up with the bots? And he said, listen, if you continue to do this, I'm going to terminate this. So if you were actually paying attention for the past few months, people have been peripherally paying attention. I think we all understand that Elon's been trying to do this. But if you've been paying attention to the lawsuits, what happened today should not be a shock. Because he's basically saying, listen, fool me once, right? Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. He's basically saying, I'm not going to be played for a fool here. I've asked you multiple times, give me this information, and they won't do it. To continue further, quote unquote, from the article Value Tainment from Elena, the lovely Elena over here.
Elena.
Why do I keep butchering your name?
Elena.
I call her Elena. I yell at Neil that he messes your name.
Now you're doing it.
This is what happens. It's show business, baby.
Shame, baby.
That's why they call it show business, not show friends. Okay. So Twitter did not to comply with its obligations to seek and obtain consent before deviating from its obligation to conduct its business in the ordinary course and quote unquote preserve substantially intact the material components of the current business organization. That's just fluff. I don't even know what the hell that all means. Let's continue. All right. So basically, here's what Musk basically shot back with. He's basically saying his lawyers are speaking from now. He's saying the lawyers claims that Twitter breached its obligations under the agreement to get Musk consent before changing its ordinary course of business, pointed to recent layoffs at the company. Very interesting right there. Would you have further details on that, or what'd you write after that?
Well, I mean, I think they're fucking with him because, like, why would you do that? This is not how it works with any other company. When, companies are acquiring other companies, they want all the information on print because you want to know what you're getting yourself into.
But it's also common for the people who are working there to, like, push back. I've been working here at Twitter before you came and bought this company. I don't want to give you the information. So it could be it could be some like an inside job. Previous owner of Twitter maybe paid someone off and said, hey, don't expose or don't give him all the information. I don't know.
But they also, first of all, Elon is exposing Twitter by doing this because he's showing that Twitter is full of shit, like the data. They can't even provide data.
Right.
And they have all these bots. And it's making the value of their company go down. But also, they don't want Elon to acquire it because then he's going to have control over a whole new media platform. And obviously, the political views are very different. You know, Twitter seems to lean
Well,
more
here,
left.
not so fast. I don't know if I think they do want Elon to buy, and I'll tell
Some
you
of
why.
them
Because
do,
now,
maybe.
this is further breaking news. You thought that you were only getting one piece of breaking news. Further breaking news: Elon, Twitter is now suing Elon Musk for how much? $1 billion. They're basically saying, Elon, not so fast. We've all lost a ton of money since you've attempted to take over Twitter and buy Twitter. We've lost, our shares have gone down from $54 a share to $36. Okay. So that's a 30% decrease, let's say. Someone fact check me on that.
Well, they're not suing him. He's facing a $1 billion fine.
From them.
As a result, Twitter is saying that, Elon, if you don't go through with this deal, it's in the contract, you're going to be facing a $1 billion fine. But Musk is responding and saying, no, you guys failed to provide the data. You fired people without consenting with me, and you breached the agreement. Therefore, that doesn't apply anymore. And you know, they could try to sue him, but it's probably not going to work.
So here, let's cut to the chase here. So under the terms of the agreement, Musk agreed to pay $1 billion if he backs out. But Twitter could still seek to hold Musk and his original deal or get a bigger payout by suing him for walking away if they dispute that his reasoning should let him out of the contract. So whether it's a fine, whether it's suing, basically Twitter is basically saying,
you got to pay.
Listen, according to the agreement that we had, you're going to have to pay us $1 billion. By the way, we just got through with what I would call the biggest trial in the last 25 years, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. If Elon Musk and Twitter have to go to court, how much bigger is that going to be than Johnny and Amber?
Much bigger.
10 times bigger?
Yeah.
100 times bigger.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's going
I'd
to be
like to
way
know
bigger.
in the comments, what do you find more interesting? The Johnny Depp, Amber Heard legal fiasco? Or if Elon Musk has to be up there versus Twitter. By the way, the chairman of the board right now, Twitter chair, his name is Brett Taylor. But Jack Dorsey might have to be in that room as well. By the way, Jack Dorsey, I believe, wants Elon Musk to buy Twitter. He believes that Elon Musk will be sort of the purveyor of free speech. This whole thing, by the way, the backdrop of all of this. What's that?
I think he just wants a job because did he not was he not the president of Twitter when he banned Trump?
Yes.
Right? So
Well,
I think
not the president. He stepped down at that point. He was a board member. He's the founder. I don't know if he was still
but
active at that point.
But he could be saying like he wants Elon to, you know, win, but not really mean it.
Yeah, I think
because he did put out a statement saying
Jack Dorsey only owns a very small percentage of Twitter at this point. I don't know if you can Google it. Maybe it's like 7%. It might not even be that high. What percentage of Twitter does Jack Dorsey own? While you're pulling that up, I firmly believe that Jack Dorsey does want Elon Musk to buy Twitter because he thinks that it's gotten completely out of control. This one right here? I'm over there. Okay.
2.4%.
There it is right there. Jack Dorsey only owns 2.4% of Twitter. Okay. By the way, just for our basic understanding, what percentage of Tesla does Elon Musk own? I guarantee you. What number do you think it is, by the way? It's probably not more than 10%. 17%. I was wrong. Okay. 17%. What percentage does he own of SpaceX? $40 to 50% of stock in the space company. Gotcha. All right, let's go back to the article. Yeah. So, but the bottom line is he is now facing a potential $1 billion fine. I know that people are saying, well, you know, it's Elon Musk. What's $1 billion? Well, the dude just lost $100 billion in the last 7 months. Yeah. So he's been leaking money. But, I mean, nobody feels bad for Elon Musk. He's still the richest man in the world. But I want to get your guys' feedback here because this is not a story that has a conclusion right now. There's not like, all right, guys, this is the end of the story. And thanks for tuning into the Soscast. You know, we're out. This is going to be an evolving story, okay? This is news that just broke today, end of the day on a Friday, like a lot of news typically does when they don't want the to be all over the headlines. Yep. That's what they do in politics. But I want to get your guys' feedback on do you think Elon Musk should continue to buy Twitter? Are you happy that he's pulling out of buying Twitter? Were you expecting him to buy Twitter? Do you think that Twitter is going to recoup this $1 billion, this fine that they're allegedly going to be coming after? I want to get your guys' feedback. But while we're getting your feedback in the comments and in the super chats, which Natalia will read, there's been some, let's call it blue check people, some famous people out there weighing in on this exact topic. So here's some of the responses that we've seen that the lovely Elena has basically cultivated from the internet on Twitter, and has added to the article. And if you want to see the full article, go to valuetainment.com, lead story, check it out, valuetainment.com. All the breaking news, all the trending news is now on our newest website, valuetainment.com. There it is. P.S. If you have not subscribed to Valuetainment Money, go ahead and subscribe. Natalia will basically give you a shout at the end. Yes. Well, here we go. Here is some feedback for some big names out there. Steven Crowder, I would call him more of a conservative, loudmouth, sort of shock jock. He's got a voice. He basically says Elon Musk has terminated his deal to buy Twitter, but perhaps he's got something else up his sleeve. Dun, 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 dun.
I think he's right.
I think we all know that Elon Musk, if you're the richest man in the world and you've got a brain like him, he's definitely got something up his sleeve. Then you got Never Back Down, by your logic, big name on Twitter. Exactly what we just said about a potential trial of the century. He said, I would pay NFL prices to attend the Elon Musk Twitter trial in Delaware. By the way, it'll be in Delaware because that's where a lot of corporations are based because of their favorable tax treatments that they have in Delaware. A lot of corporations are there. If you didn't know that, you just found that out. But he goes on to say, Twitter bringing out genetically engineered merger and acquisition lawyers, M&A lawyers, made from Henry Kravis's sperm. This is a joke. Elon saying that he shouldn't have to pay them penalties using a printed out ceiling cat memes trial of the millennium. He's having some laughs at his expense. By the way, there's not all love for Elon out there. Then there's this guy, David Levitt, big voice on Twitter. He says Elon Musk won't spend $44 billion to buy Twitter. That's because he's a lying, broke-ass, pansy little bitch.
Bro.
Let me just stop the show here for a second. This is what I would call just someone just talking shit for the sake of talking shit.
Yes.
Because he's a lying, broke-ass, pansy little bitch. Do you know what kind of balls or what kind of lack of integrity you have to call the richest man in the world broke? Okay? Anyway, what are your thoughts on that, guys? Why would he say that? All right, he's just stirring the pot right there.
Loser.
Yeah,
he's a loser. There it was.
Hater.
Here's some math for you guys. This is from Tom Harrington. He says, when Elon Musk launched his effort to buy Twitter on April 15th, possibly April 25th is when it became official, the price share was $54. Today it's $34. No wonder the board is suing him to complete the original deal. Totally understand. By the way, I think both sides have a major point here. Elon Musk has a major point here by saying, listen, I had one very clear demand. Show me the information about the bots, the MDAUs, right? The monetized daily active users. And I want to know that they're real. Show me that. Show me the money, so to speak, right? Yep. And they didn't. They, breached the potential deal. And then there's Twitter basically saying, you agreed to buy at this price. We told you we provide information. And we wrote in the contract that if you backed out, you would have to pay us $1 billion. Mm-hmm. This could go to court, guys. Trial of the century. And then we have who's turned into one of the biggest trolls on the internet. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I say that in an actual factual way, trolling people. This is the former President Donald Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr. He says, Elon Musk is terminating his agreement to buy Twitter. So basically, Twitter has a huge amount of spam accounts, way more than they let on. This goes to your point. He says they've gotten busted for the fake amount of bots that they have. This is what he says. He says, as I said weeks ago, spam accounts were probably 50%, not 5% of Twitter users. 50%. Yep. Is that believable? How many users are on Twitter? Can we find that out?
Yeah.
Total users on Twitter. Twitter, number of monetizable daily active users, that's that MDAUs worldwide in the past year has been reported
229 million users.
229 million users. That's up from 217 in the previous quarter. Okay, so let's say that there's 200 million users, hypothetically, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit more than that. Donald Trump Jr. is basically saying that 100 million of them, if not more, are completely fake. Okay? What Twitter is basically saying, if there's, they're saying 5%, that there is of 100 million, so that's 10 million fake accounts is what they're saying.
Believable.
Okay, 10 million, 100 million. Quite the difference.
Yeah.
Who do you tend to believe here? Twitter, who's saying that it's, yes, listen, we admit 5% fake bots. We're working on them. Million a day. Or Donald Trump Jr. saying, no, not so fast, guys. 100 million. I'm calling you out. Half of your user base is fake.
I believe it.
I don't know about 100 million, but probably like at least 30 million.
So that's what I was going to say. The truth is somewhere
I
in the
would say
middle.
like 50, 60 million, honestly.
Really?
Just
But you know
based
why
on
this is so
the bots I
problematic?
see on like other social media here. Like it's back to back to back and it's instant. It's right when you post, they attack the post like it's the last piece of meat to eat. Like, so I wouldn't be surprised if Twitter has 50, 60 million fake accounts and then they cancel, like you said, like, yeah, they cancel, but then they go and make another one, but the other one is still out there.
But you know why this is so problematic? Because because if they go to trial and they prove that Twitter has been lying about the amount of people creating bots, go back to that stat that you just pulled up, then that means that they've been lying to their shareholders in the past, right?
Wow,
what kind of
great point there.
implications does that pose for them?
So basically you're saying, is Twitter believable? Can we trust Twitter? Can we trust what they're putting out there? Evidently not, according to Elon Musk. And he just pulled out.
But can you trust any media, really?
Can you trust any media right now? Wow, that might have just been the dagger to end the episode. Anyway, guys, that's it. This is going to be an ongoing story. We're going to be talking about this story on Monday.
Get
so
your
stay tuned to
questions ready.
Get your questions ready, because on the PBD podcast, we're going to be covering this and more on Monday. Usually we do PBD podcasts on Tuesdays. We're having a special episode on Monday, so stay tuned for that. But we want to get your thoughts in the comments. Do we not?
Yes, please.
Do you think Elon should follow through with this? Are you on Twitter's side? Are they justified in suing?
What is your thoughts?
Suing Elon for $1 billion? What are my thoughts on what?
Yeah, what would you say?
I'd like to see Elon buy Twitter.
Same.
I think I've been very vocal that we can't just silence people. We can't just, all right, I don't agree with you, cut off half your user base. A lot of other social media companies have started in the wake of COVID and all the, let's just call it, cancel culture that has been going on, whether that's Rumble, whether that's Parler. There's a handful of other options out there. But I think people want to, listen, Twitter is a public square. For eons before media, people have gathered in public squares to voice their opinions, okay? And in America, we believe in the freedom of speech and the First Amendment. Okay, as long as it's not hate speech, say what you want to say. Famously, the famous quote, I might not agree with what you have to say, but I will defend your right to say it. And that is exactly what I think needs to happen on Twitter. And I think that's what Elon Musk was going to be bringing to the table, bringing back that common sense, free speech approach. And I think a lot of people are going to be very disappointed if he does pull out. No pun intended right there. So, listen, this is going to be an ongoing story.
We do have one super chat.
What's the super chat?
From Miss Christina on Kist.
Let's see what Christina has to say.
She said, I believe Musk's point was to shut down the left's major arsenal, Twitter, which he may have, but may have tarnished his own legacy. I believe Musk has to rely on the trust of the people, shareholders, who eventually lost trust.
Yeah. Thank you for that comment. Anyway, guys, I think it's fair to say there's a lot more details that are going to come out over the weekend and into early next week, and we're going to be covering that on the PBD podcast. Certainly, news that makes you go, what's happening out there? But there's definitely a yearning in this country for just free speech.
Yes.
Okay? There's definitely a yearning for that. I don't think anybody should be canceled. I think the wokesters out there or the far left progressives have really terrorized people who want to just kind of have open that. You might not agree with it, but again, I defend your right to say it.
Right.
A friend of mine recently said that it used to be the sort of Christian conservative right who were sort of the gatekeepers for what you can say and not say, and I don't agree with that, and the Lord Jesus don't want that was very pre-social media. Now on social media,
It's
the big tech companies, you have the far left basically saying being the gatekeepers or the purveyors.
Maybe that's
of
why
what
they
can be said.
created it. Because
What's that?
I said maybe that's why they created it, like platforms like this.
Ooh, our little friend Natalia, the conspiracy theorist out there.
the loop.
Anyway, let's wrap this thing up. Do you have any final thoughts, Elena?
I think that Twitter is fucking with Elon Musk, and I think they're gonna get what they deserve. I think it's gonna expose them, and they opened up a can of worms. And if they do take it to court, a lot of other information's gonna come out that's gonna make them look bad, and who knows what's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna end well for Twitter.
It's not gonna. So they opened up a can of worms, and Elon Musk is gonna open up a can of whoop ass on Twitter. Natalia, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I hope he does eventually own Twitter. That would be something that I would like to see. I feel like him doing that, it really will like get down to the bottom of what really Twitter is. You know, if people come to Twitter like it's a platform for freedom of speech, but I think this whole situation is showing you that it's not. It's full of bots. It's not a freedom of speech area because it's fake accounts. So I would like to see somebody take over the platform and really make it into that platform that it's supposed to be, that we think it is.
Yeah.
That's where I
respect. Guys, thank you for tuning in. This very impromptu episode here on Tainment, the #1 channel for entrepreneurs on the planet. I'm rocking my I Am an Entrepreneur t-shirt. You can get this kind of stuff, this merch on Value. Let's give a shout out to what we're doing on Tainment.
Merch.
Check out the website. Check out all our podcasts. Check out our merch. Check out our articles.
And guess what? All of that is on the website.
All of it's on the website. So check it out. If you have not subscribed to Tainment Money, that's his channel right here. And if for whatever reason you have not subscribed to the mothership, Tainment, do that right there. This has been a special episode of the Soscast. As always, save that money, especially you, Elon. Don't pay that $1 billion. We out.